to turn the sound on. Switch over to the talking screen. And hello, everyone. Is my phone muted? It is. First try. All right. How are you doing, Mama?
I'm doing all right. How are you tonight?
I'm doing okay. Let's see, is my light too bright? Actually, like that a little bit better.
I find the little screw that fell out of my glasses.
You found it? That's nice.
Yeah.
It is not a fun time to have your glasses fall apart.
Well, I did also find a screw that fit, so
Mhm.
in my repair kit, so
Nice. I haven't done too much exciting between yesterday and today. I just continued studying for the Security Plus exam. Did better on the more recent practice test, so that's good.
it is good.
Aside from that, I don't know if I've mentioned looking for houses to rent, so and looking at those some more. Not super excited about that, but yeah, getting that figured out is a process. Yeah, tomorrow I should know whether or not my car's totaled or not. So, I guess here's hoping that it can be repaired. Because I don't really want to do car shopping.
No.
I guess aside from that, I'm ready for some Sudoku.
Yep.
So this was a puzzle request by the setter. So this is Strange Dream by Michael Lefkowitz. Place a digit from 1 through 9 in each cell so that every digit appears once in every row, column, and box. For clarity, there are 6 rows and 6 columns and 54 cells in the puzzle. Thermo. Digits increase along thermometer lines starting from the bulb. Killer. Digits may not repeat in the cage. And silent little killer. Each cell with an arrow contains the sum of the digits on the diagonal pointed to by the arrow. Alright, so let's figure out this strange dream. Link in the chat if you want to tackle the puzzle yourself.
6 rows, 6 columns, and 54 cells is interesting.
Yep. But that's because we've got these squares
Right.
here that give us the extra
Right.
digits necessary. So I don't know how we mark this. But I guess we'll figure it out. Now, this one's kind of tough for me. I guess it's only going to take a look at the 2 along along that diagonal.
Well, let's see. We want to do the rest of the clue, or you already do that? I don't remember them.
Reading the rules? I can read them
Yeah.
again. Place a digit from 1 through 9 in each cell so that every digit appears once in every row, column, and box. For clarity, there are 6 rows, 6 columns, and 54 cells in the puzzle. Thermo. Digits increase along thermometer lines starting from the bulb. Killer. Digits may not repeat in the cage. And silent little killer. Each cell with an arrow contains the sum of the digits on the diagonal pointed to by the arrow. So this arrow here would, I think, point at the 2 along the diagonal. Because it can't point to all 4 cells, because that would be a minimum of 10, and I can't represent that here because the maximum digit's a 9. Yeah. So this has to be a minimum of 5. Okay. So I guess that works because each of these, the order of digits, so let's say it was a 2, a 5, a 6, and an 8, is going to place those digits in their proper corners. So I think we're fine to do that. Mark it that way. The distance between the smallest digit here, Electron says, hello, this Sudoku looks unusual. It sure does. Michael Lefkowitz asked us to tackle this one yesterday. But we had, it was already past my bedtime, so we had to do this one today. Yeah, there, the link should be accessible if you want to give this one a go.
The one cell that has digits in it right now,
yeah,
you go down and to the left, you'll see another little arrow. So
that's true.
it cannot be a 9.
One, 2, 3, 4, 5. Hmm. Two, 3, 4, 5. So 2 is automatically going to make that 7 or 8. And a 3 would be impossible.
Yeah, bulb has to be 1 or 2. I guess you can't really mark that.
No. I guess the thing that's hardest for me to think about is, I guess, where are the restrictions? I mean, obviously the clues are here, but how can we limit what things can be? So we know
Yeah,
this one. Go ahead. Sorry.
I said that the killer cage doesn't have a
It doesn't have a
total.
sum. So it's just this digit can't be there. Row 2, column 1 is at least 3, but that's not very restrictive. Row 2, column 1 is at least 3. Why do we know this is at least 3?
Unless it means where it's the bottom of the Z.
Are you saying cell 1, bottom left? Because of the little killer in row 2, 5, column 3, 5? Row 2, 5. Oh, row 2.5, column 3.5. So we're saying this one. I'm still not sure why. Yeah, I'm not sure why that one would make this minimum 3. Because the bottom right number is at least 3 larger than the top left because of the thermo. Okay, yeah, that makes sense. So if that was a 1, 2, 3, 4, okay, I see why that is. And it couldn't be 9. I guess we should ask where 9s are in the grid at all. Same thing happens with row 1, column 3. So where can 9s go in my grid? This is pointed at, that's pointed at. Along the diagonal where a 9 would even go. So that can't be 9, that can't be 9. Can't put 9s in there, 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 there. That's less restrictive than I thought it might be. However, this I should have looked at more carefully after Electron said that this one had to be at least 3.
Right.
Because 3 and 5 are minimum 8. So that hopped up there. 7 and 8 is removed from here, and so is 5 and up removed from there. So that got things much more restricted. And now, 2, 3, 4, 5 is 7. So we know the top left is a 1. But it could go 3, 4, 5, because 1 and 5 is 6. Of course, it can't go 3, 4. So if this went 1, 3, 4, 5, that would make 6 here, but it would break this. So the second digit has to be a 2.
Well, and it can't go 1, 2, 3, 4.
Oh yeah, it can't go 1, 2, 3, 4. So it must go 1. Well, the bottom left is 3 or 4.
Right.
But it's going to go. But that's going to immediately make the top one a 5. So this must be a 6. Row 2, column 2 is a 6. So yeah. Cool. Just worked through that a little slower than Electron did. And then 6 and 3 is going to make 9.
Well, so it's going to have to be a 5 at the end of that thermo.
Yeah.
1 and 5
I just don't know
6.
how to mark it. Oh yeah, the 5 comes out.
Oh,
1, 2, 3,
you
6.
do the little
4,
5.
5.
Just to remind you that that's a 5.
Yeah, but it would end up in the bottom left.
Oh, in the wrong spot.
Yeah.
But it's
I
a
could do
4.
3, 4, 5.
It's 1, 2. It's 1, 2, 4,
Oh, yeah,
5.
yeah. This is the 3.
Well, and
That's going to
row
make this
3,
one.
column 2
Yeah, the bottom
has
left
to
of
be an
this.
8.
So this is a 7.
Yeah.
So we have 1, 2 things, and an 8. Oh, well, if this is an 8, then that's going to make that a 9 and an 8.
Well, wait a minute.
What are we waiting a minute?
The row 3, column 2.
Yeah.
There's the little killer that points at a one. Oh, never mind. 1 and 7 is 8. Never mind. I was looking at it backwards. The 7 was the sum instead of.
Yeah. Six, 7, 8, I believe. Yeah, because it's going to have to be these 3.
Right. Well,
Well, the 9's not going to be at the top of this, so 9's one of those 2. So the top of this is at most a 5.
that could be a 6. Oh, no, because 6 is up on the top row.
Yeah. So
And
I've got 1, 2, 4, 5, 9, and 3. So those are my possibilities.
Right.
So the largest digit in here is a 5. It could go 1, 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4, 5 is also possible. The 9 is also not in row 2, column 5 because of the arrow, right?
Oh,
So
and
if this
because of
was
the arrow in row 3, column 4.
row 3, column 4, yeah.
That since that can't be a 9, you can't have an 8 in the top right corner of.
3, 4, and 5. You can do 2 and 6, but you can't do 3 and 6. So now this is 1 or 2. So this is going to have to go 2, 3, 4, and 5 because the 5 has to be in here, and that has to be the largest digit. Then you also have to have a 4. You also have to have a 3, and then the 2. So that's going to place a 1, but that doesn't help with that one. So the thermo rules out 2, 3, 4 from row 2, column 5. Row 2, column 5. Okay. And then the little killer rules out 5. Okay, you did that in a different order to me. Cool. Oh, and then we've got an 8 right here. So 7 and 6. So that's going to give us 8, 7. Killer cage here.
Yeah. So in the thermo, the top right, you can't have a 2 or a 3. So it's going to be minimum 4.
4, 5, 8.
6. Oh, yeah, 8.
Yeah. 8's going to be required. But 6 and 7 are ruled out. So it has to go 4, 5, 8. That's all of the possibilities. Because, yeah, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah, that's all the possibilities. What can this be? 3, 7, 8, 9. 2, 4, 5, 1. So apparently this is a 6. Because I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7, 8, and 9. Yep, that's a 6. That's 3. Those aren't. And what are these two? 2 and 7. And then these 3 are going to be 2, 7, and something else. 3, it looks like.
Well, then row 3 needs a 2 and a 3.
So then these are going to be 1,
1, 4, 5, 6, 8, 9.
8, 6, and 9, 1. 4, 5, 6, 8, 9. I don't like that. We're just going to leave it blank. Although, this is probably what we need to look at. So, if I did 4, 5, 6, 8, and put the 9 here, you're saying,
Well, the row 4, column 6 cannot be an 8 because that would have to pair with a 1 for a 9, for 9. Oh, well, yeah, with 1 for
yeah, 8,
9, but
1.
1. Which puts the 8
So, yeah.
on the thermo.
Eltron says, so 4, 5, 6 is not possible. So 4, 5, 6 because 2 and 5 is 7. So that means that it can't go 4, 5, 6, 8. So we have to have a 9 in here. So 8
And the
and
8
9.
has to be, yeah.
And so the 8's here. Wait. Okay, yeah. So 8 is going to be the second largest. So that is going to place 5 or 6 in the top part. So it's I don't know how to mark this. But it's either well, it's one of the digits from 4, 5, and 6. I'm just going to leave the 8, 9 there.
What about column 3? It needs 1, 2, 4, 5, and 9. Yeah, it's actually not helpful, is it? Because there's no other clues other than the thermo.
Yeah. Oh, this 2, 3, 4, 5 is going to take 4 and 5 out of here. In fact, this is going to be 1, 6, and
9. And the
we know
bottom one
this one
can't
can't
be
be
a
1.
1.
Four, 5, 8 would be the possibilities for 9. For 6, it would be 1, 5, or 2. Well, 1's not an option. But this can't be an 8 because of the 8 above it. So if this was 9, it's 4, 5. Oh. But that doesn't work for this, does it? Because 4, 5, 6. Yeah, I can only take one of these digits out. So if this was 4 and 5, then this would only have 3 digits in it, but it needs 4. And there's no other way to make 9 work. So this is a 6 then, right? Is that logic reasonable?
I think so, but it can't be a 1 up at the top of that. Because if that's a 1, the only thing you can put it with is a 6, and that makes a 6 in column 4 and in row 4. Because you can't make 9, so those would both be 6, so that can't be a 1.
So 6, 1, 5. 4 is not an option. So this would be 2 and 4. 4 is removed. 3 and 2, 9 here, 2 and 9. So now this is 1, 4, 5, 7. 1, 4, 5, 7, if I can click the buttons correctly. 7, 3, 2, not a 2, not 5 or 7, 1 or 4, that's a 9. You get an 8 here, a 6 there. These are both done. So
The top one's an 8.
1, 8, 3, 5, 7,
4.
and nice. That was definitely a very strange puzzle. Row 6. Oh, row 6 is the last row. And then we're going to do 1, 3, 5, 7. 3, 5, 7. Submit that one. Can you send the Logic Masters Germany link? I sure can. Copy that. Strange Dream. Very nice. Very, very interesting. I mean, it was kind of tricky, but I think that was more to do with the weirdness of the rule set than, or the differentness, newness of the rule set.
Having to keep track of the thermos
Yeah.
with the repeating numbers.
But outside of that, I guess I have to say that was kind of an easy puzzle. The trickiest part was getting the startup going. And then after that, it's just some little things here and there. Electron says, by the way, did you see the puzzle you tested for me yesterday? Got incredible feedback. I did not see the puzzle from last week. Got feedback. Copy. Paste. That would have been Cheryl's Sudoku. Nice. 96% rating. And oh, nice. It got featured on Cracking the Cryptic.
Nice.
Does nobody knows any digits yet mean they don't know the specific cell location of a digit or just the specific digit content of a cage? Nice. It got featured on Cracking the Cryptic as the best 4x4 Sudoku ever made. Nice.
Nice.
How long did it how long was it on the channel? Or not the channel. How long was the video? That was what I was looking for. Because right now, if I go to YouTube when I'm in my browser, it doesn't there it is, 2 days ago. It took Simon an hour and 11 minutes. How long did it take us?
I don't recall.
This is where we click that button. I think that one's a different rule set. Our link one which would actually have the right time on it would be this one, I think. It took us 50 minutes. So, I mean, that's probably on par with Simon, with all of the announcements that he does and reading the rules and stuff. So, yeah. It was definitely a very interesting puzzle. The rules were very fun, and I highly recommend this puzzle. I'm actually going to post this one again in the video description here. Doot. And this one is Strange Dream. Make sure I have the name of that one. And then we're going to put Cheryl's Sudoku by Electron. Yeah, alright. I don't have anything else to say about Strange Dream. I don't know if I have anything to say about this one. It was definitely a very fun puzzle, and I do recommend checking it out if you haven't. But aside from that, I think I'm ready for the next puzzle. So, puzzle... I guess this is the second puzzle for today. Okay, I have the windows up. This is The Gallery by Riff Clown. Irregular Sudoku rules apply. Digits on a wide purple Renban line form a set of consecutive digits in any order. Digits on a thin blue region sum line have the same total for each region the line enters. Different lines may have different totals. Digits on a gold Nabner line may not repeat. If a digit appears on the line, then digits consecutive with it must not appear on that line. Basically, the gold Nabner line is the opposite of a purple Renban line, in that you cannot form... well, actually, I think this one's a more extreme version of what Nabner lines usually are. Is it, or is it not? If a digit appears on the line, then digits consecutive with it must not appear on that line. I don't remember whether or not Nabner lines are usually no consecutiveness at all, or that the set must not be
broken.
Yeah. I don't remember, but this puzzle, this one is no digit can have any consecutive digit with it. So, all right, let's start. Oh, before we start, let's put a link to the puzzle. Excuse me. Electron says, I think this is the usual way. So I'm probably thinking that the Nabner lines might have a less restrictive rule set somehow. I don't know. All right.
Well,
Where
both
to?
of the Ren
Go ahead,
bands
sorry.
are both of the Ren bands are 8-digit.
Mm-hmm. Well, we do have a pair of 7s. What does that do for this region? Just rules it out of, oops, too much. And then for this one, it would be there. Although I guess that's not... Well...
Well, look at row 3.
Oops.
Oh, no, never mind. My brain's fried. It's not what I was thinking.
Yeah. If we look at the first 4 rows, we've got 1, 2, 3, plus this 7 here, which means we've run out of 7s, so we can't have 7s up there. So 7s look... well, they're not there either. What about... we have 1 7 here, a second 7, a third 7, and we've ruled it out of there already, and there already. So either the 7 is here, or it's one of those 3. Which is fine. One, 2, 3. So the fourth 7 has to be in here. I guess I could have just simply looked at those 2 7s and be like, not there, and then this one because of that 7. So then that's going to force 6 and 8 up here. I could put... wait a second. If I put one... go ahead, sorry.
The region sum line around that 5.
Yeah.
Below it, that's a single digit.
Yeah.
To the right of the 5, that's 3 cells are part of that.
Oh,
So that...
I didn't notice that. And you've got that same thing happening up here. I did that the wrong way. Neither of which can be 7. But that's going to take the 7 off of this.
Right. And it'll take the 8 off of the corner.
Now, the other thing I noticed about the Nabner line in here is, let's say I put the digit 2. Then 1 and 3 will end up here, and that will be all 4 of those digits. So if I were to put 2 in there, then 1 and 3 will finish the last 4, and then I would have to put 9, which would be fine, and 4, which would be fine. Okay. Because, yeah, 9 isn't going to be an issue. And if I were to put a 4, then I would have to put... well, 2 would end up there. Or no. 3 would end up here. But that would be fine. Okay. If I didn't put 9 in here, and it ended up there, I don't think this would work. A 1 would force the 2 up here. Hmm.
All right,
1,
the
3, 4,
shape in
5,
the
6.
or
Can't be a
around
5.
the Nabner line in the top left. All right, so that shape,
Yeah.
the whole shape, where do you put an 8? Well, you can't
It
put it
can't be
in
here, and it can't be on
right.
that. Okay, so 8, which is going to be 9, and we already have 7 here.
Okay, now if say 6 was in row 5 over there on the left where it's 6 and 8, if 6 was there, where would you put 6 on? Well, that would be fine because well, it would have to be paired with the 8 though. It would have to be on that Nabner line. Because if you put the 6 in that bottom corner of the gap there, you'd have to have a 1, 2 above it,
Yeah,
and you
and that
can't
wouldn't
put
work.
but that would only be if the 6 doesn't drop down. Well, actually, the 6 can't be on the bottom left region sum line. It can't be in the top the one around the 5. If you put 6 in that top corner, then you have
Oh,
to
that
put
would
it with
make
a
that
1,
one 2.
2.
Okay, yeah.
So that is 6 and 8 paired together there in the same row is what I
Oh,
meant.
right, because it's going to be now 6 is kicked out of this group, so we have to have 6 over here.
Right.
So now 5 is kicked out. Um, hmm. If this was a 5, I couldn't make that one 2. It would have to be 1, 3, which would make that 9.
The region sum around the 5
Yeah.
can't be an 8. Or could it?
1, 3,
It would
and a
have to be
4.
1, 3, 4. Yeah, okay. Never mind. I was putting all 3 of them on the thing. On the Nabner instead of
Oh, I marked this one earlier because this Renban, because it's 8 cells long, it's either 1 through 8 or 2 through 9, but a
right.
7's required. So if we look at this 7, rules it out of there. This 7 rules out those 2. And it rules out this one because it's in the same shape. And the logic we did earlier, which ruled out the 7 across the top, forces the 7, to be right here. And if we look at this one, this also has to have a 7 on it. That's ruled out, that's ruled out, that's ruled out. So 7 must be one of these 2, and that places a 7 here. Hmm. Okay, so if I took a 1 out, this would make this a 3 and a 9. If I took the 2 out, then you'd have 1 would have to be one of these, and then this would be 3 or 4, and that would make 8. And if I took the 4 out, that would make that a 2. But we can't make 7, so a 3 is required as one of those 3. What else? Where is 7 in this column? It can't be here. It's not there. And this 7 is required to be on here, and it has to be there. So that's ruled out, and that's ruled out. So 7 has to be one of those two. So these two are ruled out. So then this has to be the 7 in this one, because this 7 rules out those, this 7 rules out those, and this 7 rules out those. So that's a 7. And that's a 7. And that immediately rules out 6.
Well, in that first shape, where does the 7 now go? Down
Right
at the
here.
bottom next to the 3.
So that's a 7, that's a 7.
All the 7s.
9's ruled out, 7's ruled out, and 3 is ruled out. Does it matter the other options? 4 and 5 only matter for 9. And obviously 8 and 1 only matter for 9. So 2 and 6 is the only way to make 8. Otherwise, you have 1, 8, or 4, 5 for 9. Okay, I'm missing something. Okay, I know 3 is required. The 6 would put 2. And 8 is just going to put 1. And then 9 will put 3. Okay. Five has to be one of those 3. But that crosses 2 boxes, so that's not helpful. Oh, where is 9 in this box? Because where is it in this one? Because the 8 on the Nabner line forces it off of the Nabner. The 8 on the Nabner forces 9 off of the Nabner. 9 isn't 7, and you can't put 9 on this 3 spot of the region sum line, because 9 and 2 other digits is more than 10. So 9 has to go here, which rules it out of there. 9 isn't 5, 9 isn't 7, and 9 isn't 1, 2, or 3, but also the 3-cell part of the region sum line. So now 9 must go here. So that gave us a little bit more progress. So now if this has a 9 on it, 9 must be one of these 3. But it doesn't have to be. Where does 9 go in this box? It's ruled out of those. Can't go there. Doesn't feel restricted enough. So, stuck there for the moment. If this was a 4, that would have to be 1, 3, which would make 8. A 3 means a 4 is required. So that would be 7. And 1 for 8 or 2 for 9. A 2 is going to force a 1, and 3 would make 6. And a 1 is going to take 3 off, and it's going to be 2 and 4. But I can't do that, so this can't be a 1 on top. Not that that's super helpful, but it's something at least. Alright, well, what else? I know 6 has to be around here. If I were to put a 6 as one of these two, that would make that 9, and I'd get a 1, 2 on either side. Neither of these can be 4. And the reason for that is because if either of those is 4, then this couldn't be a 5. It would be 1 and 2. And 4 is going to remove 6 as a possibility, because 4 and 6 is 10. And 4 is also going to remove 3, so that would be 1, 2, and 4. Well, that's 7, so neither of these is 4. So if neither of these is 6, then this would be a 1, 3 pair. So if this was a 5, 1 and 3 is 9. If this is a 4, 1 and 3 is 8. If this were 1 or 2, this would have to be 1, 6. So the only way that this gets to be an 8 is a 4 and a 1, 3. If this was 3, 4 would be there, and then 1 or 2. Six, 8, 7, and 9 are all removed from here. It's not super helpful. If one of these two is 5, then that's a 5, which would make that one 3 for 9. We know that this needs a 5 on it. That 5 can be anywhere like that, so that's not that helpful. What about the 3 on here? This 3 and the 3 that's required there is going to rule out those. 7 isn't 3. Oh, and that can't be 3. So 3 ends up being one of those two, which takes 3 out of that one. Five is one of those 3. Six can pretty much be anywhere. 8 can be anywhere. What am I missing? I really don't know where I'm supposed to be looking here. If I ask where 9 can go, it's ruled out of the bottom and the right side. What about on this one? There. That's it. I know a 3's required on here, but I can't know for certain where it might be. It doesn't feel very helpful. Where can I put a 9 in this box? It can't go here, it can't go across the middle, and it can't go there. 9 goes on one of the 2 Renbands. Now an 8 we can't say for certain, but Well, no, I could put 8 on one of the 2 Renbands as well. So one of these is not guaranteed to be a 9. Although one of them is guaranteed to not be a 9. Excuse me. Because 8 has to go across either the top or the bottom. I could put an 8 on one of these 2, which would force a 9. But I could also pair the 8 with the 9. Is there a reason that can't happen? Four, 1, and 3. Oh! Because this one cannot be a 3, if this was a 4, 1, and 3, the only way to make 8, this would be a 2, which would make it 9. So I think this cannot be an 8, can it? Because if this is a 5, then 1 and 3 makes 9.
Right.
If this is 1 or 2, then this has to have the 6. And if this is a 4, well, it has to be 1 or 3. And that would be the 1 and a 1.
Right.
So
that has to be a 9.
And a 9 here. Not there. But that makes this a 2. So this isn't a 2. 2 and 6 are going to be removed from both of these. I think I accidentally removed a 5. I did. So now this cannot be a 4. Because if it was,
right,
then you couldn't put a 6, it would have to be 1, 3. So 4 is not a possibility. So if this is 1 or 2, then we get 6 as the number up here. Otherwise, this is a 5 and 1, 3.
Place this 9 in column 7.
This is 9 in column 7. Where is the 9 placed in column 7? Could be...
No, but you can. It would have to be at the bottom, because look at column 7.
It's not a 7. Can't go there. Can't go on the Renban again. Can't go there. Can't go on the Renban again. Can't be in this box. Okay.
Okay, so now where is it in the shape? Oh, in column 9, it has to go in the top shape.
Ask for one of these. Well,
And
that was
since it has
incorrect. Oh, well, actually, that was correct because the 9 there. So one of those takes it out of there. So this one and that. Yeah. I think it was more accurately this one. Well, no, because this was the only spot that it was left in this box. I think. Because those two, there, and there. Yeah. So now we can't put 1 on here. 1, 7, 9. And then these two aren't 5 or 3. 3, 2, 2, 2, 5. This one isn't a 3 because it has to be one of those two. 2 is a requirement, but it's one of these. Ah, 1 is now a requirement, which means because I can't make this 9 anymore.
right.
So 2 can't be one of those two. So 2 is required up here. Which, if this is a 6, then that's a 2. If this is an 8, then that's a 3 or 4. Two, 6, 8, 3, 4. Oh, except 3 is required over here. So that's not a 3. Because if there was no 3, it would be 7. Which isn't allowed because of the 6 or 8. But I can put a 4 and a 3 there and make 8. If this was 1, 3, 4, I'm missing something from up here. Aren't I?
Um,
1 is required. 2
it's
is up
6, 8,
here.
and the last of the 2 or 4.
Yeah. But if this was 1, 3, 4, then I guess that's 2, 6, 8. Okay.
6, 8. Yeah.
I just can't count.
Yeah. Those 3 are either 2, 6, 8 or 4, 6, 8.
Yeah. where is 1 in this box? Because 1 isn't 9, 7, or 2. It can't go on the Renban, and the 1's required down here, because if it wasn't there, that would be a 9. So it's not one of those two. That's a 1. Takes one out of that possibility. I think 1 is required to be one of these two, though, because it cannot be 2, 3, 4. So that's not a 1. One, 2, 3, and the 1 has to be up here. So this can't be 1, 8. It's 4, 5. And now this has to be 1, 2, 6. And 5 is required there.
Three and 4 to figure out.
So where's
Well, the
1?
4, 5 pair in row 4.
One, 4, 5, 7, 9. This isn't a 2.
You can't have 8 on the sum lines on the.
Yeah. So I don't see a way of making 6. So I think this has to be 8 now.
Yeah.
So that's an 8.
And
Which means 2 is no
6
longer allowed.
on the horizontal above the 5.
6 and 2. 2, 2 and 6. That's an 8 then. 3, 4,
And
5, and 9.
the equal sum line around the 5 on the left. The column sees 7, 2. So 1, 2. So it's 3 and 5.
1, 4, 5, 3. Not a 3. And 4 goes out of that. 2, 6, 8 triple around the Renban. So that's 3, 4, and 5. That's going to place 8 and 3 over here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 8. Which is going to place 2. Take 2 off of that. Oh, 1, 3, 4, 5. So I think this is 1 or 6. How about this column? 1, 6, 8, 9, and 7. This isn't a 2. Oh, this is a 1 or a 2 over here on the right side. How about this row? 3, 9, 7, 1, 2, 5, and 8. 1, 3, 4, 6. Okay, how about this one? It seems suspiciously empty. 1, 2, 6, 3, 7, 9. How about we finish out this Renban? 3, 8, 7 is all removed. This isn't 5 or 9. This one's not 5 or 9. This one isn't 2 or 6. So if we were to put oh, this column's done. It's missing an 8. Where's 8 in this shape? Not there, not there. That 8 removes it from there. So 8 can't be either of those two, so that's an 8. So this one is not in this shape. This 8 removes that. This 8 removes there. 8 isn't 9, and that 8 takes it out of there. And then this shape, top row, this 8 takes that out. 8 isn't 9, 8 isn't 1 or 2. So 8 is one of those two, combines with one of those two. But I don't think it's that helpful otherwise. Okay, but 6 has to be one of these two. Because 6 is required on the Renban. 1, 2, or 4. Seven, 6, 3, 5, 8. This isn't a 2.
The left-hand Renban is required to have a 2.
And that 2 must be here.
Eliminates the
1, 2, 6 takes out the 1s. And now we have to have a 9.
3.
That's a 5. It's also not a 5. What's down here? You said a 3? 1 is there, 4 is there, 4 isn't these. 4, 9 pair places a 3, a 4, a 5, a 2. 9, 4, 9, 4, 9. 1, 6, and something else. A 3, I believe, which that isn't, so there's that. Okay, these two. 1, 9, 5, 8, 4, 7, 3. 2, 6 pair. We're just going to make these two. 9, 7, 5, 3, 8, 2, and 6. A 1, 4 pair. The 1, 6 is going to place 4 and 1. A 6, a 1, a 2, a 6, 4, 3, 3, 4, 8, 6, 1, 8, 8, 6, 6, 1, 2, 6, 6, 2. This one's a 5, a 6, a 2. I don't know what these are, but I'm not seeing a 5. I don't see a 4.
4.
Or a 2. 1 and 5.
5.
Ta-da! Okay, apparently that one was kind of hard. But, we got there eventually. Just some little things here and there that we just, like... I just didn't think the middle was that helpful. But then, like, I started putting digits in there, and then it just became helpful. So, I don't know. This was The Gallery by Riff Clown. See if we can find this on Logic Masters Germany. We can. And row 8. And followed by row... No. I was going to say followed by row 9, but that is because I can't read. Difficulty-wise, I would kind of go more on the average side. It took us a long time, but I don't think the logic was that difficult as long as you looked in the right spot. Which was... It was difficult to see where the right spot to look was, but once we just started putting in all of the possibilities, it was kind of fiddly, but because like some of the rulings out were kind of difficult, but it took me a long time to look at the options for here. It took me a long time to look at the options there. Or no, it was the corners here and how that was relevant. And then I guess seeing this part right here was pretty difficult. The fact that the only option for an 8 ran into a contradiction. Yeah. There were a few other, like, tougher bits of logic here and there, but I don't think anything got more than average. What do you think? Any thoughts on this puzzle, Mama?
Well,
No thoughts?
mm-mm.
Okay. Let's see. Do you want to tackle one more or no? Okay. We have time, so let's take on difference fences. See if we can get this one done quickly. Difference fences. Difference fences by Rocky Rower. Normal Sudoku rules apply. Digits in the circles must appear in the surrounding 4 cells. The white segments represent difference fences. Each segment has a value equal to the difference between the cells they separate. On a fence, no 2 segments can have the same value. Each fence has a total value equal to the sum of all the segments, and this total value is given in the attached quad. Some total values will need to be deduced. Okay. I don't think I understand the rules. Okay, I think I understand the rules now. So... digits in the circles must appear in the surrounding 4 cells. So this 1, 5 must be in one of these 4 cells. And then white segments represent difference fences. Each segment has a value equal to the difference between the cells they separate. So if I were to say put a 5 here and a 1 here, then this segment would be 4. This one would be 3. And then, well, it can't be 4 again. And that can't be 3 again. So that would be 4, 3, and 2, which sums to 9, not 15. Each fence has a total value of the sum of all the segments, and this total value is given in the attached quad. Some totals need to be deduced. Okay. Then I think I understand the rules. Does that sound reasonable to you, Mama?
Yeah.
Okay. Then let's give this a go. So I think 21 is going to be pretty restrictive because that's going to have to be 8, 7, and 6 as the difference. So this is either 1 or 9, and then 7, 8, 9, or 1, 2, 3.
Well,
Now,
given where 1 has to be, you can take away a couple of the 1s and 2s.
right. Which means that I can't put a 9 and 1, 2, 3 around it. So this is a 1 surrounded by 7, 8, 9. Oops, wrong button. Okay. Well, two and 9 are the widest that I can make this difference now.
Well,
Which would be 7. No, because I can still put a 9 and a 1, so I can still make a difference of 8. And 8, 7, 6 is 21. And I could put 9 in the middle here and a 1 there, so I still have an 8, and I still have an 8 for this one.
Oh, actually, can't do an 8 in box 2, an 8 difference.
If I did 9 above 1.
No,
Oh,
you
because
can't.
the 1's 7. Right.
And the 1 has to be above the 1, 7 there because of where it is in box 1.
Right. Yeah, we'd have 1 there and 1 there. And 1 is one of these, so that puts 1 over here.
And look where the
1
1s
there, 1
and
there.
2s can go in boxes 1, 4, and 7.
2, 2, 2. Fortunately, 1 in box 8 can be pretty much anywhere. In fact, it can be anywhere. Okay.
So now box 2 765 is 18, so
So it's going to be 764 then, isn't it? Because the only way to make 8
right.
was if I did 9 and 1, which wasn't allowed. So 2, 9 is 7. And 6 is 13. And 5 is 18. So it's 2, 6, and 4. So if I did 9, 2 would be 7. Wait, hold on. It is 7, 6, and 4. No, yeah, 7, 6, and 4. 7, 6, and 4. So 9 minus 7 is 2. Minus 6 is 3. Minus 4 is 5. Now, if I did the other way, 2 plus 7 is 9. Plus
6 is 8.
and 4 is 6.
Right.
So that one's not as helpful. However, we do know that a 2 is required in this group. So that's going to be a 2 up there.
Well, in box 4, 19.
Yeah.
You can't do both 7 and 8. And 865 is 19.
You said 865?
Uh-huh. Is 19.
But 9, 6. Oh, wait.
You can't do a difference of 9.
Yeah. Okay. So 1, 9. So that's 8. I can't do 7 because of where the 2's have to be located. So that would be
Right.
3 and 4. And that's 6 and 5. 6 and 5 is 11, plus 1 is, plus 8 is 19. So then that puts 2 and gets rid of the smaller numbers. One, 2, and 9. So 3 and 8 is the biggest separation. Or, well, 3 and 8 are the digits I can put in the middle. Oh, I can't use an 8 because of the 6, 8. So it'd be 3, 7 as the widest difference I can put in the middle. So if I did 3 and 7, 8, 9, then so that would be 9, that would be 7 and 8, and that seems possible. Then that would be 6 plus 4 plus 5, and 4, 5, and 6 is 15. So that would be how it would have to be. And if I did a 7 here, and I do 1, 2, 3, then that would be 6, 5, 4. So that would be 1, 2. So this is what it has to be, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
That leaves 4 and 5 for the row. Now,
this is a 1-7 pair.
Oh.
So that's going to place 8, 7. Fortunately, it doesn't help with what's going on over here, but we know this is 1-7 because of the quad. 4, 5, 3, and 6. Um, 3, 4, 5, I think. Uh, 3, 7,
5.
8, 2, 9, and these 3 cannot be 1 or 5. Okay.
Column 2, the other 3, 4 has to go in.
So it's probably, well, I could use a 1.
Well, and 6 is the highest digit in that column left.
Can't put a 1. So the largest gap would be 4 and 3 for 7. And then I would need 5. So if I did a 6, that would be 1. Oh, I couldn't do
Put
6
1
in
over
1,
there.
2, 3. Say again.
Yeah, you can't do 6 in 1, 2, 3.
I don't think I could use a 5 ever, because that would be 4, 3, 2, which is 9. 4 could be 5, 5, 4, 3. So a 4 could technically work. But it would have to be 9 and either 1 or 8 to make 4. The 9 would be used for 5, which isn't
You can't
possible.
do that.
3 can be 6, 5, 4. Although I can't use the 9 for the 6, so that would be 5, 4, 3, which is 12. So I would put an 8, but then I couldn't use 7 for 4. So 3 is not a possibility. This has to be a 2 then, doesn't it?
I think so.
Because I mean, we sort of ruled out every other possible digit, so I guess just to go over it again. 6 would have to be 1, 2, 3 in order to be 5, 4, 3. Because I can't use 9 for 3.
And you can't use a 1, so.
Yeah. So 6 is out. 5 doesn't have differences large enough. 4, I would have to get a 5 from 9, which isn't possible. 3, I can't use the 9 for a 6, so then it would have to be 5, 4, 3. And to get 5, I'd have to use an 8. And so that would be the 8 here. to get 4, I'd have to use a 7. If the 8's already there, that's 7, means I can't put a 7 there. So 3 is not a possibility, so 2 must be the option. And so I could get 6 with an 8. So what are my options? I have to use a 3 or a 4. So that's 1 or 2. If I did 4 and 5...
Column 2 is left with 3, 4, 5, 6.
Yeah. One of them is 3, 4. The other is 5, 6. I don't know which one's which, but so this one is at most 2, and this one is at most 4. Which is 6, which means I have to have an 8. And so this is a 5, 6 up here. Oh. It has to be 2 and 4 to make 6. So that had to be like that.
Oh, yes. I was going to say, wait a minute. The difference between 4 and 5 is... 9 and 5 is only 4, but I was going the wrong direction.
Yeah. 1, 3, 4, 5, 9. These two aren't 2. These two aren't 8. 8, 2, 4, 6, 5. 1, 9. This can't be a 1, because 1 has to be up here. Okay, think good there. Oh, somehow this is a 4. Takes 4 out of all of those. Three, 4, 5, 6, 8, 1. Okay, not enough information. Oh, where can I put a 5? Well, it has to be around the quad, and 5 isn't 4. It's not 3 or 7 or 1 or 8, so that's a 5. 3, 4 is going to place a 6. 3, a 4. 6 is going to get removed. 3 is going to get removed. 7 is removed. 7 is also removed from those. Apparently this is an 8 and a 1. So that's a 1. I don't see anything else that gets resolved. So 18. How do we get 18? 8 plus 7 plus 6 is 21. So I have 3 degrees of freedom. I can turn the 8 into a 5. None of them can be 1. 3, 4, 5, 9, and 4. So if I just look at the maximum differences, 2, 8, 2, 9, 2, 9. So that's a pair of 7s and a 6. which, if I go 7, 6, 5, that's 18. So I have to do a difference of 7, 6, 5. So that would be 3 or 7. So this one's 5 or 6. 3, 4, 4, 8, 7. But these two aren't 4, those two aren't 3.
And box 6, the 8 has to be around the circle.
Right. So 7, 6, 5 is 18. To get a distant difference of 7, that has to be 2, 9. Okay, so let's pretend this one was 2, 9, because it's the least restrictive. Then to get 6, that has to be 2, 8, wouldn't it? Because I don't have a 3 to go with the 9, or a 1 to go with the 7. So that would be 2, 6, or excuse me, 2, 8 for 6. Actually, hold on. If this was 2, 9, no, I can do 3 and 8 for 5, and 2 and 8 for 6. And that would be just barely enough. And so the 2, 9 pair would make that 8, that 2, 2, 9, 8, 3. So this would be a 7 and 9. 6, 2, 3. I believe. And if I made this one 2, 9, then to get 6.
That doesn't work in box 3. It has to be a 2 above the 7.
Has to be 2.
Box 3. If the center's 7,
Oh,
that has
right.
to be a 2
Yeah.
above it.
In fact, I already know that this can't be a 3. This has to be 7, 3, 2. Because the middle is 7 and this was a 1. Yeah. So I can't use a 3. That would be a difference of 2, which is not going to get me anywhere close to 15, because I'd have to make 13.
Difference between 3 and 7 is 4. And it should only be 6. That's only 12.
Yeah. So
yes,
this
it
has to be 7, 3, 9.
No. Not 9, 2.
2.
2 above the 7.
Yeah. So then 2 and 7. Okay. And okay, if this was 2 and 9, I wanna do the bottom one. If this was 2 and 9, then that would be 4. Um, 4 and 9 to make 5. That's 7. That's 5. This has to be 6, which would be 8 and 2.
And that's a pair of 2s in the column 9.
So 2, 9. That's 7. Then this would have to be 3, 8.
And
So
then the
that's
bottom sum
5,
is the
7,
6.
6, 2, 8.
Doesn't work because of the 2, 9.
What did I mess up? We got this 1 a while ago, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, because I think we got it when we got this 5.
Yeah.
Yeah, because that's the only spot for a 5 now. Then the 3, 4 places 5 and 6, 3 and 4. Then it takes stuff out of there, and 8 and 1. And that's going to place a 1 here. Okay. And now because this is a 1, I need this to have a difference of 6, 4,
And 5.
So that has to be 7, 2. Because that's 5 plus 4 is 9, plus 6 is 15. So now I need to make this 18 work. Okay, so what is the minimum digit I can put on here? And then what's the maximum digit? Okay. So the maximum difference I can get is 6. 7 and 7. Okay. Well, that means the maximum sum I can get is 7, 6, and 5. 7 plus 6 plus 5 is 18, right?
Yes.
Okay. So this has to have us different, the sums being 7, 6, and 5. So I could put a 7 over here, except I can't. So this is either 2, 8 for 6 or 3, 8 for 5. So 2, 8. Okay. So then this has 3 possible sums. Okay, so 9 and 4 is 5. 9 and 3 is 6. And 9 and 2 is 7. Now I have to do a 2, 9 somewhere, which means the 2, which pairs with the 9 to make 7, has to be on this side. So this can't be a 2 and an 8. So this has to be a 3 and an 8. And that's my 5. So now I need 6 and 7. the 7 has to be 2, 9. So how do I make 6? Okay, so...
Well, you can't use 4 to make 6.
Right. So it's not on the left side that the smaller digit is. So if I want to make 6, then I can do 2 and 8. Or I can do 3 and 9. But that's broken either way. And I can't do 1 and 7. So I've done something wrong.
Why is the... Where was it broken?
Because the 2, 9 has to have a 2 on the left or on the right side, so the 9 is on the left.
Right.
And then... So yeah, so it had to be 2, 9. And so if I want to make 6, that's 1, 7. Well, that doesn't work. 2, 8. That doesn't work.
Oh, right.
Because I can't put 2
9.
2s. And I can't do 3, 9, because then I'm going to stack my 9s. So I've broken something. And I wonder if it's up here. Okay, I don't think... Okay, I feel like everything is correct except for box 3.
Wait a minute. Box 7. Oh, no, that's right.
Yeah.
I was adding 8 and 4 and 6. It's like, wait a minute. No, that's... No, it's not. Not the way it works.
I mean, you could add 8, 4, and 6 as long as you subtract 2 3 times. So which would just
Right.
be 8, 4 is 12.
Yeah.
Which this is 27 minus 8, which is 19. And 24 minus 3, which is 21. I'm fairly confident with the stuff down here. And in here...
Okay. Well, row 3, or row 2.
1, 2, 5, 9, 6, and 8. It has to be 3, 4, 7. And then if we do the top...
It has to have 1 5 below the 1 5.
Right. 1, 5, 3, 4, 7. So 8 and 8.
And the 1 5 pair in row 3.
Okay.
Bottom of column 1 takes out the 7s.
Right. Thank you. Okay. So I need to make 15. And if we take out the center 3 times and add the outside, it's plus or minus 15. Because you could do, this is 8 minus 27 is negative 19. So, okay, let's say I put a 4 here. Then I would have to do 5, 4, 3. But 5, 4, 3 is 12, right?
Right.
So this can't be a 4. If I do a 7, that's 6, 5, 4 as possibilities, right?
Right.
And 6, 5, and 4 is 15. And 3 is going to be the same way. 6, 5, 4. Okay. So in either case,
But
5 is 2 away from those. So that's going to be 1 and 5. Right?
Right.
So that forces 7 to be 6 away. And I can't use a 3. Or excuse me, I can't put 4 for a difference of 3. Because it has to be 6 and 4. And a 2. Is there an easy formula for how this could work? I don't think so. Because 21 minus 6 is 15. But this, I think, has to be the absolute value of the left minus the right, which isn't helpful. Because that doesn't mean... It means I can't just simply add all of this to all of that. It's 10, 10. And this is what we had before when we tried to do the 18.
Right.
Because, again, I can't put a 1 anywhere. And so that's my minimums. And my maximums. And again, if so the maximum here, 2 and 8, is 6. 2 and 9 is 7, and 2 and 9 is also 7. So, again, 5, 6, and 7 is 18. So I have to make the differences 5, 6, and 7. So this one, 2 and 8 is 6. 3 and 8 is 5, and 2 and 7 is 5. Well, I can't put a 7. So I can put the 3, 8 in any order for 5. But if it's 2 and 8, it only goes in one way. However, I have to do 2 and 9. So 2 and 8 isn't possible. So this has to be 3, 8 for 5. So because I have to do 2, 9 for 7...
And 3, 9. For 6.
Well, I could do 2 and 8. Well, I can't do 2 and 8.
No.
For 6.
You have to do 2, 9 for 7 and 3, 9 for 6.
Okay, so the 4's not a possibility. So we've got 2 and 9. So then it doesn't matter. Okay, for 6, 1, 7 doesn't work. 2, 8 doesn't work. 3, 9. Well, I can't do the 3, 9 there, but I can do 3, 9 here. So this is 2 and 9. 3 and 9. 8 and 3. So am I just, like, bad at mathematics? Or why was that not a possibility before?
Because we're insisting on the 2, 7. I think. I don't know.
Did we have...
Or
No, this
2,
had to be
7.
3, 7.
2 and 9. I don't know what. I don't remember.
One, 2, 3, 8, and 9. 5, 7. One, 2, 4, 6. Well, these 6, 4, 5, 1, 3, 2, and 9, 7, and 8.
Why did you just stop with 1, 2, 4, 6 and...
Oh,
Oh, right, because the 5 has to go up there.
Yeah, 5 and 7, and then those up there. Okay. Alright. We started making progress again, so 5, 6, 7, and 2, I think. Take those out for a moment. Okay. So I think whatever the sum ends up being that gets put into this quad means that those digits have to be around here.
Yeah.
So what is the possible sum here? 5, 4, 3. 1, 2, or 3. And then this one's a bit more complicated, but the biggest is 3. So I think this has 1, 2, or 3 as the sum for this one right here.
Yeah.
Okay. So the biggest number I can put in there is 5 plus 5 is 10. But I couldn't put a 0. So does that mean this has to be 6? Because I can't put a 9 down here. I can't put an 8, and I can't put a 7. So does that mean I have to make this have a difference of 3 and a 1-2 pair? To put a 6 in that sum? Does that sound
I think
reasonable?
that might be the case, yeah.
So a difference of 3 would be a 6. That's 1, so this is a difference of 2. So
Which
that
would
puts
be
a 1
1.
here. 4, 6, 5, 2.
All
Okay.
right. 3, 5, and 9.
I'm going to do the bottom first.
1,
So
4,
4,
6, 7.
6. And then top. 4, 6, 2, and 8. Okay.
Row 6 is 1, 4, 5.
1, 2, 3,
3,
4, 5,
9.
9. Do we have any interesting combinations that makes? I don't see any right away. Three, 9, 8. No. Okay. Well, the maximum difference here is a 6. A 4. Well, this actually can't be 6. It can't be a 3-9 pair. So one of those has to be a 5. So this is either a 2 or a 4. Which means that this is either 6, being a 3-9 pair. But wait a second. No, I don't think so. Or, if I put the 9 over here and a 5, then that would be a difference of 2, or 9 and 5 is 4. If this was 5, that would have to be 2 and 4. If this is 3, that would have to be 6 and 2. Okay. A 3 would be 3, 1, 3, or 4. A 5 would be 4, 1, 1, or 2. The difference here... Oh. A 5 wouldn't allow a 2, because I already have the 2. I mean, I'm forced to have 2, so that can't be a sum of 2. Okay. So then this one, I can be 2, 4, or 6.
Well, it can't be 2.
Yeah. But then if it has to be 4 or 6, because
Right.
it's either 2 and 8, or 4 and 8, or 2 and 6, then this can't be a difference of 4, because that's a 2, 4, 6 combo, as far
Right.
as sums go.
That's already 12.
Okay. So this is 1 or 3. This one, a 1. Well, 4 and 5 is 1. So 1 and 4 is 3, and 1 and 5 is 4.
Well, it
But I
can't be
can't use
4.
4. So now
And
that's a
that's now
1-3
1 and
pair.
3.
So now we're at 16.
Mm-hmm.
So then these two, 5 and 6, if I did a 1, a 4 would be 2 or 3, and a 5 would be 1 or 2. But again, I can't do 1, 3, 2, or 6. So this has to be a difference of 5, which means I can't use 5, and I can't use 4. This has to be a 1. So that's a 4,
And
so that's a difference of 3.
9 is
6.
21.
So that's a
That
2.
has to, yeah.
That's a 4. 9, 3, 5, 8, 6, 2, 1, 7, 3, 8, 9, 8, 6, 4, 6. Okay, I think that was a hard puzzle. Very, very interesting though. Okay, I think I got all of those puzzles organized. Okay. So now we went Difference Fences by Rocky Road. This was a really interesting puzzle. This one? Yes, this one. That's not the solution code. Solution code is column 6. Yeah. I don't know why I had trouble with this. I'd have to go back and see exactly why. But aside from that, I mean, I guess if it wasn't for this, I think it would have been an average puzzle. So it's probably actually an average puzzle. Well, no, I'm going to say this is a hard puzzle because having to think through all of the possible sums is not easy to do. So yeah, I'm going to go with hard. It's a very nice puzzle though. But yeah, I don't have anything else to say about it. Anything else you want to say about it, Mama?
Yeah, I'm good.
All right, in that case, switch over to the talking screen and we're going to sign off. So thank you so much for watching. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe, all that fancy YouTube engagement stuff. If you're interested in any other content on this channel, Sudoku is Mondays and Tuesdays at 8 p.m. Eastern Time, Monster Hunter World on Saturdays at 7 a.m. Eastern Time, and I promise I will continue to play Final Fantasy VI. That way I can get to The Last of Us Part 1. And then eventually the Final Fantasy VII remakes and a bunch of other games.
Not this next Monday.
Yeah. Not this upcoming Monday. The 16th, I will have, I'm going to an event. So, we'll not be doing Sudoku then. So, if you want to know when upcoming streams are, make sure to ring the notification bell. I have been posting them on YouTube, usually ahead of time, except for the Final Fantasy VI stuff, because I don't want to. I don't want to set my times for those. Gives me a little bit of extra flexibility, but unfortunately that also means I don't stream them all the time. So it's a mixed bag, I guess. Anyway, that is it for today. So again, thank you so much for watching, and have a wonderful day.